So with the Vic Mignogna litigation reaching the appeals phase, I found it fascinating that Ron Toye has removed his Twitter account. Now this may not be permanent, but don't you find it fascinating that he was given a preservation letter at one time? He decided to go in and fully restrict his accounts where people could no longer look at them, and now he has removed everything. At what point do you think that that is destroying evidence? So hey there, so today I want to return to that wonderful world of litigation. And I want to keep this video really brief. I just want to point out a couple of things, give you a very brief timeline, and to ask a couple of questions with this. Better legal minds than mine will probably be able to answer that, and I appreciate you doing so. Before we get into this too, very, very briefly, if you like this kind of content, you want to help out the channel, consider subbing to it. It definitely helps out, and thank you in advance. Also, pass these videos along because that definitely shares this knowledge, and interact with videos. Like, comment, you know that drill by now. You just +1, interact in there, literally saying it, and thank you in advance. So Ron Toye, like I said the other day, he removed his account, and he had been given a preservation letter that was attached to the Vic Mignogna litigation. Why? Because he was one of 4 major people that was being sued for different things with defamation, tortious interference, and conspiracy. Now in that, again, he was asked to preserve everything, including direct messages and on, and we already know that many of those things, they were never passed on to lawyers. They were never confirmed by him. You know, in fact, you had to go in and get a judge to say, well, I felt like he confirmed that therefore, but Ron Toye never actually did any of that stuff. Now, at what point do you have this just basically wagging a finger in somebody's face and saying, hey, I'm going to go out, I'm going to do whatever I want, you know, all of your rules inside the courtroom, be danged. We'll use that, be danged. Now, I found this to be really interesting considering the attitude, that mentality that we saw for the longest time. You know, people understand ramifications. Don't you understand what defamation is? I want to go to court. I want these words to set out there. I hope this guy comes after us because if he does, then the truth will out. Okay, well, where is that truth? Been waiting for it for the longest time. We heard things about civil courts settlements. We heard things about going silent. We heard everything out there about apologies and on, but the one thing that we never did hear was the information that we were promised. Oh, sure, we were given this idea that as soon as stuff hits the appeals process and burns out, that people will go out and truly expose something. But again, you know, if you've been doing this for almost a year now, at what point, again, is enough when you're saying that? And also, at what point is this just wagging a finger out there and saying, yeah, you know, I've done so much damage that I'm trying to do damage control for self now. See, I think that when you look at this, I always wonder about preservation because I always wonder about direct messaging, for example, how exactly that stores. I wonder about, you know, going in, entering a conversation, exiting, how exactly that picks up and from when. Wonder about timelines as well. How much data is stored in there? How hard is that to retrieve? And also, you know, when you're doing this here, is this, you know, unintentionally going out because of quote-unquote privacy? Or is this what it looks like? Again, destroying information or even going out of your way to make this stuff harder to retrieve. See, as I said in the past, this guy has already limited access, what he had there. And this, it's another move. It feels like it's part of litigation. And I wonder, does this have any legal ramification? Again, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. Maybe some of you legal minds can go out there with it because this stuff is retrievable. But still, when it's like this, when it comes back, how do you prove that you haven't removed a bunch of stuff? I mean, you'd have to go in, basically get Twitter to go and pull up archives. And even then, how do those archives work? Are they complete, especially when it comes to the direct message portion of things? See, I would be fascinated in that part because I'm sure that when you get down to people like Shane Holmberg, when you get down to certain lawyers out there, that there were messages shared. I know that because there were messages leaked by certain accounts, and what you saw was conspiracy. That stuff definitely looked like conspiring. But then again, I need to add allegedly because, well, apparently free speech, you can go out, you can do a lot under its auspices in Texas, apparently. What a mess there. But anyway, you tell me what you think about this. Like I said, it looks a lot like trying to conceal or to basically get rid of evidence to me. But again, what do you see here? Anyway, so I want to thank you at the end of this for showing up and participating. You make endeavors possible. Funimation, hopefully they learn a lesson in this. Hopefully consumers do too. Consumers, they learn that you can stand up to something, but also within those principles, you never have to open your wallet again. You can always find something else to buy. You can always find something else to entertain you. And if you want to go back to their products, well, there's many ways to do so. You don't have to be an obedient lapdog, basically, like they want. And most people, they know better now. That's the bad thing that happened with all these folks. They watched it play out over months. And as you watch something play out over months, people wake up to the fact that, well, that ugliness that you showcased, yeah, it's easy to tone you and it out after a while. But anyway, let me know what you think about this. And as always, like I said, I don't want to be these people, so I want to thank you here. If you want to help out with interactions, awesome, but your time is valuable too. So thank you, appreciate you. We'll be doing this again soon. Thanks.